Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. This is Amy. Hi. Hi. And I am your host this morning slash almost afternoon. Yeah, I didn't wash or comb my hair yet, so we put a hat on. So yeah. Anyway, got a new t-shirt. Raised by Elves. It's Elf, one of my favorite Christmas movies. Got this t-shirt off Amazon. So I have my elf t-shirt. And I have my elf mug that my sister got me last year for Christmas. And usually this time of year, I'm doing the 12 days of coffee Christmas, which I'm not doing this year because my Keurig broke. That I have the Keurig and I haven't got a new one. Blah blah blah, yada yada. I'm just waiting because I want to. There's one on Amazon I want, but there's some other stuff I need more. So probably gonna wait till after the new year to get the new dual Keurig coffee maker. Yep. Anyway, so here we are. Almost out of coffee. I did make some more. So there's that. So today we're doing a cozy winter reading update. And by cozy, I mean we have a cozy fire amongst my beach decor and my, where we go? Back here, my bedspread, I changed to the Grinch. I can't see the Grinch. There's Max, but there's the Grinches on there. It is what it is. See that? I say that all the time. It is what it is. And then I seen a t-shirt that I want to get and it had a little frog on it. I think he was sitting, I don't know if he was sitting in a chair or if he was walking with a stick, but it said, "It is what it is." And then at the bottom it says, "And it's not good." So yeah, that's on my list of t-shirts to get. But it's okay right now. So yeah, our winter a cozy winter reading update. Hopefully it won't be that long. But yeah, so I have a list. I have books from the library um since October. No, November. October's over. November. The reading list. It went up and down. I did read some books. I don't know when I'm going to get to my reviews yet. It's just it's it is what it is. So I will tell you the books I got to in November, which I did four. That's great. I did King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. I really like that one. I'm not going to give you the ratings right now when I do. If I do my reviews, I'm probably going to hold off to the new year because I have a stack and it's probably going to be a part one and a part two. Other books I read in November were Party of Liars by Kelsey Cox, Saving Noah by Lucinda Berry, and How to Survive a Slasher by somebody I didn't write down. I think it was a YA fiction horror. But yeah, so I did four books in November. So far, I still have my stack for December. And some I'm probably not going to get through right now. Some I think I took back to the library, so I didn't get to. And the one I've started a few. Um, I started Lethal Passage by Eric Larson. I am gonna finish this one. It's a small book, but um I just haven't got through it. So this one, I started this one. It's a nonfiction. It's about story of a gun. Um, I'm I like it. I'm a nonfiction history fan. And the other one I started that I really want to start, but I might have to take it to the library. It's already late. I have to take it back, pay my fine, and see if they'll let me check it back out. Or I do have it on hold on Libby. I think I don't know if they have the ebook or if it's just the audio I have on hold on Libby. So we'll see what we can do. But that is Lee Sager's the only one left. I started it about chapter 5, page 37. I'm enjoying it. So hopefully I can get that back. I'm getting mixed up here. So that's where we're at with those. and I'll tell you about my library holds and what books on my list. I have a shelf above my desk, and so I keep the borrowed library books, and then the books I just put on my monthly TBR that I want to get to. I have them up on this shelf, so they're always I'm always looking up there or I'm pointing up there. It's because I have books up there. I wanted to read in November Stephen King's 11/22/63. Did I get to it? Nope, I did not. Again, this year. That's how big it is. I tabbed it. So my tabs are just for um I tab every 50 pages. It sounds ridiculous, but it makes me feel like I'm making progress in my reading. So I like to do every 50 pages and I put a tab. And so when I get to that, I take the tab off. And so it's like a countdown, which is visible for me to see and feel like I'm I'm getting there. So that's usually all my books will have tabs. Tabs, tabs. I tab them. When I get them, I tab them. Tabs. Yeah, I'm a tabber, but not for probably the other reasons people tab. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't get to this one. I wanted to. I did start it. I didn't get very far. I'm on page 15, maybe. So what I think I'm going to do with this one is for the reading update. I do want to get to it. Every year I say that, and I'm disappointed that I don't. But so Sue Jackson has in the summertime, she does Big Book Summer Challenge, and I did it the last can you see it here? No. It's heavy. I don't want to hold it. Um she does a Big Book Summer Challenge in the starts on she starts it in Memorial Day weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend through the summer, so it ends on Labor Day. Usually the first week Labor Day is on Monday. The first Monday of September here in the US. If you're watching this, in the US, we have Labor Day in September. And so it's through the first weekend in September. So you have all summer. And the challenge is just to read one book at 400 pages or more, or however many books you can read. But it's at least one book, 400 pages plus. And most of the time, the book length I usually read, the length of my books that I usually read are 300 to 400 pages. I mean, that's my average. That's usually, so I'm usually reading technically a big book. That's defined by Big Book Summer. So what I like to do in this when I do the Big Book Summer Challenge, I like to put an extra large big book on there. So something like this, extra large would be like 5, 6, 7, 800 pages that I can get through that I don't normally get through for the rest of the year. So I think I'm going to save this definitely for Big Book Summer Challenge this next year. Like I said, Sue Jackson puts it on. I'll put a link to the video she did introducing her Big Book Summer Challenge. I think the books that she was going to get through. The video down, the link down below, and the description. So you can check that out if you want to see what it's all about. She has merch too. I don't know if it's available all year or if she just makes it available during the challenge. But anyway, so this is a big book. It is, I think it was 842 pages. So I'm saving this for Big Book Summer Challenge because I want to do it. And so, like I said, normally I have 3 or 4 books large like this on my list for the Big Book Summer Challenge I want to do every year, but I obviously don't get through them. Like I said, it's easy for me to get through a 400-page book, but I'm specifically saving this for then, so I will get to it, even if this is the only book I put on the list for that for the summer. So that's going to be saved for later this next year in the summertime. I'm not reading it in November because apparently November's jinxed and I'm never going to get to it in November. Yeah. So that's that. And then there's some books I had that I took back to the library that I wasn't going to get to. And I'm not totally DNFing those. I do want at some point to get to them, but I have a outrageous TBR book of possibilities every month that I want to get to. Plus I'm checking books out from the library, which is good, but there's just so many books and so little time. I'm just I'm just crazy finding books all the time that I'm watching booktubers and putting some of those books on my list. And it's just like, I love it and I hate it at the same time. But a couple of the books I took back to the library that I didn't get to was Killer on the Road / Babysitter Lives. It's 2 books in one. It's by Stephen Graham Jones. I wanted to read that for Halloween. I didn't get to it. And then there's a nonfiction one I wanted to read. I didn't get to it. I'm going to get this out later sometime. I still want to read it. It's called Medicine River by Marionette Pember. It's a nonfiction about Native American children who were forced into boarding schools. And this one, I did read a Rachel Harrison in October. I think it was October. I read Black Sheep in October. And so I wanted to read Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison also, but I didn't get to it. So that one went back, but I do want to read that one. So these are like DNFs, but I'm not really, it's not a hard, it's not permanent. It's a temporary, I would like to call that a temporary hold on the reading. Yeah. hmm So I have books I got from the library. So we went over these ones. We're going to try and finish. Okay. Um, oh, there is one more. There is this one. I know it sounds kind of random and unorganized, but it is what it is. Uh, so this one I wanted to read. I don't know if I'm going to get to it. I may have to take it back and check it out at a later time, or maybe this next Halloween next year, because How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold. I wanted to read this one. I started a little bit. I think I read, I don't know what I read. Thought I know I got a few pages. I don't know if I got to the first chapter. So, no, I didn't. I read, yeah, just a few pages. Yeah, I would like to read this again, but this may be a temporary DNF until next year. It's hard to say because this one's due, I think, in a couple of weeks. I renewed it, but the reason I have to take the only one left by Riley Sagerbeck because they only let you renew it 3 times apparently, or it's on hold. I don't know, but I need to take it back and either get it another time to finish it or get the ebook or audio, which has a little bit of a hold wait. So anyway, so that's those. So the library books that I have that I haven't started. So what I like to try to do now, I've been doing for a little bit, maybe a few months, not very long. I want I try to read the first chapter of the books that I have. Just see which ones maybe I want to try next. So I have little notes um on this one. So this is John Mars. You You Killed Me First. I haven't read any John Mars. I heard about John Mars on there's a couple booktubers that's read John Mars and they really liked him. I know um I can't think of them. I'll put it in the link when I think. I'll put it in the link in the description of uh or their names, whatever. I haven't read John Mars. I heard he's really good. I read the back of this and I wanted to get it. So I did read the first chapter of this and I really liked it. So the first chapter, it's through the first chapter. So if there's a prologue or an introduction, I read that and the first chapter. So this one had a little intro and the first chapter. And I really was intrigued. And so this is about, it starts out 3 women, 3 smoldering secrets. Who will make it out alive? It says it's November 5th. So I don't know if he's a British author. I think he is. I want to say, yeah. Anyway, this is set in England. Um, and it's November 5th, and a woman awakens to a nightmare. So November 5th in the UK is bonfire night, which I'm not going to explain that. You can look it up. So it says it's 5th of November, and a woman awakens to a nightmare. Bound and gagged, she lies trapped in the heart of a towering bonfire. As the smoke thickens, panic sets in. she's moments away from being engulfed in flames. How did it come to this? So that's the introduction of this book, and it goes on some more. Um, that you it's I'm not giving anything away because it says it right here, but this lady, you don't know her name at the beginning. She wakes up and she's like, she can't move. She's all wrapped up in something and she doesn't know what it is, and she hears like explosions and different things, and then she comes to find out because she's gagged and she has a phone, or there's a camera in there somehow. I don't know what it is, but she is trapped in what she realizes is um a bonfire, like I don't know, a bonfire, like, campfire, like put sticks up and you make a fire. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm ridiculous. Anyway, she's in this somebody started this fire and she's stuck in there, and what's the bomb she hears going off is like fireworks and stuff. So people are celebrating bonfire night, and she's literally stuck in one. Somebody's trying to kill her, and that's how this starts out. And then it goes on and it comes to before that happens. So it starts out, this is December 5th, obviously. So I want to read this in December. Hmm. And then it goes to the first chapter starts, I think it starts December 11 months before the bonfire. So I've just read the first chapter. I really like it, and we're gonna see who this lady ends up being, because um in the first chapter you hear about this lady, and she's a nosy neighbor, and she's like wants everything perfect. She wants her house to look perfect. So they have a Christmas tree that is in front of a window that like the neighbors and the outside can see, that's like all neat and perfect and like happy homemaker. And then she says the kids have their Christmas tree and it's like where you can't see it, and she complains that it's all like mismatched and just not nice, which I thought that's kind of rude. Like, you usually let your kids decorate your Christmas tree and be proud of it, but she sounds like a one of those perfectionists, plus she's a nosy neighbor because she's looking at the neighbors moving in across the street. So it's almost like there's some desperate housewives going on with, there's a murder gonna happen or happen. So that sounds fun. And then I read this chapter of this one. This is the second one in the series of is it the Frank Locke? So the first one was In the Blink of an Eye. I read that one. I really liked it. I think I gave it a 4, not a 5. But anyway, so this is a British detective. She is Kate Frank, um, and she's working with the first AI detective who goes by Aid Locke, and they just call him Locke. But he's an AI, so it legitly is AI. She has like a little watch or band on her, and she can like make him appear. It sounds really wild, but the first one I did really like it. It was interesting. Although sometimes this detect, because it's like a computer, generated person, that's their brain is a computer. Um, a lot of times he would be saying things or making comments, and it would totally annoy me. So if in real life it was me and I had something like that, I would be wanting to punch this thing in the face at some point, just be some of the comments that he makes. But you have to realize it's a computer, and they don't have like humor or a sense of, you shouldn't say that, it's rude or whatever. But anyway, so that's what that makes it fun. But yeah, Leave No Trace is number 2 in the Blink of an Eye series by Joe Callahan. And she is a says she's a works as a full-time senior strategist carrying out research in the future impact of AI and genomics in the workforce. Yeah, that's a lot. And she wrote a book. So this one is the second one, and it says when the body of a man is found crucified at the top of a hill in the British Midlands. You can Google it if you're not familiar. I'm not either. I usually have to Google a UK map. Aid Locke, the world's first AI detective, and Detective Kate Frank are thrust into the spotlight as they're given their first live case. So before they worked on cold cases, old cases that needed to be solved, and so now they're going into an actual live active case. So when a second body is found, the police issue an extraordinary warning to the local males aged 30 to 40. Avoid drinking in pubs. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. If you insist on going to a pub, do not leave alone. And definitely do not leave a pub with a stranger. Well, that's just all common sense, for me, but maybe not for some people. Says with the national media and local men in an uproar, Kate and Locke have to combine their instincts and algorithms to catch the killer before they can strike again. So yeah. So I read the first chapter. I liked it. I'm there. I'm there for it. Um yeah. And these aren't that big of books, really. They're like I didn't tab this one. Oops, I'm slacking. This is 3 no, that's acknowledgments. I don't count the acknowledgments. I just count where the book ends, like the story. 370. Yeah. Like I said, my book range in length is usually 300 to 400 pages. And then the other three, actually, and then we'll tell you about the books I have on hold at the library. I have probably this next week I'll have like 5 or 6 to pick up. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm so overdoing it. But this one, I also heard of this from some booktubers. I haven't read anything by Charlie Donnelly. Apparently, a lot of people like him. And his newest one, I think, is 20 years later. But this is Guess Again. This is the newest one, or um, I think the newest one out is 20. No, it's not. That's what this came out in 2025. This must be the newest one. Guess Again, maybe. Anyway, this is a guy who used to be a detective and he quit. And he went to med school and decided to be a doctor instead of like being. He worked for uh, a I don't know if it's FBI or some kind of task force that dealt with, um, I think, child victims of crime. And so he got burnt out on, you know, always not being able to save the person. And so he switched to medicine so he could be like have more of a proactive in saving someone's life, even though it is important to find out what happened to them. When, you know, but he went into medicine. So there's a cop that comes that's working some cold case and he's dying, and so he comes back and he asks for help from Ethan Hall. He's a former renegade detective turned ER doctor. Left law enforcement to escape the horrors of the kid crime division. Okay. So he left, he's a doctor, and this other guy comes, what's his name? Pete. Pete Kramer. He makes a request of Ethan to help him solve this one case before his one last case. So they're on this case of a 10 years ago, a 17-year-old high school volleyball star, Callie Jones, vanished from her quiet Wisconsin Lake community. A highly publicized search followed, but her body was never found. The case went cold, but the echoes still linger. So I read the first chapter of this, and I was like, wow, that started out pretty, pretty. I guess this will be it's a little spoiler, but not. It's just it was actually the first part of it, like a prologue, which says summer of 2015, the summer 2015, Cherry View, Wisconsin. So there's just a little one page blurb here before the first chapter. Oh shoots. Can you hear me? Yeah. That's how small it is. But in that little chunk, it turns out, so there's this teenage girl, doesn't give her a name, I don't think, on here. There's a teenage girl. She is in high school. She's on the volleyball team and she's sleeping with her coach. That's how it starts out. And I'm like, oh, shoots. That's going to go off the rails. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to that one. I did renew it, I think. And this one I started. I got to the chapters are kind of long. It's a nonfiction. And it's, I don't know. I assumed it had to do true crime because what it says is it's by Carolyn Fraser and it's Murderland. It says crime and bloodlust in the time of serial killers. Okay. So that sounded one of my friends messaged me that she was reading this, and so I thought I'll try to pick it up. I'll pick it up from my library. And so I renewed it. I don't know if it's kind of thick. It's a big one. Oh, I didn't tab this one either. Told you I was slacking. Oh, so it's a nonfiction, so you're gonna have like footnotes and an index and all kinds of notes at the end that you do with nonfiction, historical, blah blah blah. So this is almost 400, 398 pages. It has a few pictures in there, um, but it's starting out with a lot of geographical reference and mapping data and different data and facts about. So it's about the Pacific Northwest and how possibly maybe she's making a question or statement that environmental factors have played into the part of at this area of the U.S., Washington, Oregon, that there were so many violent crimes and serial killers in these areas that had came out of these areas, and so there is that's why it's called Murderland. So just it says as Murderland indelibly and maps the lives and the careers of Bundy and his infamous peers in mayhem, the Green River Killer, the I-5 Killer, the Night Stalker, the Hillside Strangler, even Charles Manson. Fraser's Northwest death trip begins to uncover a deeper mystery and an overlapping pattern of environmental destruction. It says at Ground Zero in Ted Bundy's Tacoma stood one of the most poisonous lead, copper, and arsenic smelters in the world. But it was hardly unique in the West. As Fraser's investigation inexorably proceeds, evidence mounts, and the plumes of these smelters not only sickened and blighted millions of lives, but also wrapped young minds, including some who grew up to become serial killers. So she's saying maybe that those environmental factors of all these minerals and things and how it mm, gets polluting the water and just everything around could possibly play into the fact that these people um, partly were partly played into them becoming these criminals. But I don't know. I haven't got very far. I'm in a lot of the, and so I'm wondering how much of actual true crime stuff I'm thinking right now. What I'm reading at the beginning, there's not a lot of true crime. It's more just environmental impact stuff, impact of the grounds around this puts Washington, Seattle, Tacoma, that area into Oregon. I don't know. Sometimes, it may not be your thing. I find it interesting, so I'm reading it. And another one, the big book I just got, I don't know, it's a new one, so I don't know if I'm going to get to renew this. I'm going to try to push through, but I may have to recheck it out. But this is Joe Hill's new one, King Sorrow. I haven't read any Joe Hill yet. I wanted to. I wanted to read Nosferatu. I did see the I would call it a mini series, the series that Nos forget what it was on. Anyway, I watched Nosferatu. I think I didn't get to the very end of the last episode, but I know what happened. But anyway, so I haven't read any of his. And of course, this Joe is Stephen King's son, and he writes under Joe Hill. But this sounded interesting. I seen an interview on YouTube with him, and he was talking about his new book, and so I was like, well, that sounds interesting. I'd like to read it. And I did do this first chapter, and it starts out that this guy Arthur author Arthur is going to this prison to visit his mother who's in jail, and while he's there, there's some more people that's going to see it's a women's prison, see their mom. And so he lends her his sweatshirt because she was wearing a shirt that they weren't going to let her in, because apparently you can't have a shirt that has um reference of like killing, crime, and guns in her shirt. It was a rock t-shirt. It was Guns N' Roses, so it had guns on it, and they weren't going to let her in to see her mom. But he lent her his hoodie or sweatshirt, whatever, so she could go in, because the sister that was with her and her boyfriend or brother. They were complaining they drove like 3 hours and got up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, and security officer was a real jerk. So that's where I'm at the beginning. So I don't know. I don't know where this possibly a dragon comes in somewhere. I'm there for it though. Yeah. So this is Arthur Oakes is a reader, dreamer, and a student of Rackham College, Maine. Renowned for its frosty winter, exceptional library, and beautiful buildings, but his ideal and um, romance with Gwen Underfoot is shattered when a local drug dealer and her partner corner him in one of the worst crimes he can imagine. Corner him, corner him into one of the worst crimes he can imagine, stealing rare books from the college library. Ooh, that's bad. Trapped and desperate, Arthur returns to his closest friend. I can't read today. Closest friends for comfort and help. Together, they dream up a wild, fantastical scheme to free Arthur from the cruel trap in which he finds himself. Wealthy, irreprehensible Colin Wren suggests using the unnerving Enoch Crane journal. So this looks like it's going to be a little sci-fi. Says in parentheses, bound in skin of its author. Yep, a little bit of horror. To summon a dragon to do their bidding. Okay, there we go. It's it's getting there with the dragon. The others, brave, beautiful Allison Schreiner, the battling twins Donna and Donovan McBride, and brainy, bold Gwyn, don't hesitate to join Colin in an effort to smash reality and bring the creature of the impossible into our world. But there's nothing simple about dealing with dragons. Mm-mm. We seen that if you watch the, let's see, Game of Thrones. Let me name another. The Hobbit. Uh-huh. Yeah. The yeah. They're rogue. And it says, and their pact to save Arthur becomes a terrifying bargain in which the six must choose a new sacrifice for King Sorrow every year or become the next meal. Yep, that's a biggie. Thank you, Joe. Anyway, so that is what I got from the library in my reading update with the books that I have started. Do I have any more? No, this is all of them right there. I have books, my December TBR. We're not going to talk about that right now. It's still up there on the shelf. And I have some of them on hold on the Libby app that I want to get the audio to, so maybe it'll get through those quicker. But yeah, so these are the main concerns. And I do have, I think I had, excuse me, six books I have on hold. Well, I have more than hold, but that are going to be ready soon, I think, at the library. Let me tell you what they are really quick, and then you can go about your day if you choose. Um, so this is, yeah, I'm thinking this next week. I need to go to town on Monday. I think we'll figure that out. So a book I have is Noel Hillier. It says it's H. It's IH, but Hillier. It's Hillier or Hillier? I don't know. Ask for Andrea. I was really little snippet of that, and that one sounded really interesting. Also, I got this book referred from watching Gabbyreads booktube, and it's Breathe In, Bleed Out by Brian McAuley. And this was I've seen it on a couple of different people, and it's referenced with a little, like, kind of like a little bit of the Scream. If you've seen the Scream movies and you're a fan, that's what made me want to read this one. And I don't think it's that big a book. But I definitely was interested in that one. So that's Breathe In, Bleed Out. And then the other one I've heard about, and this is I don't know when this came out, but it's Jennifer Hillier, The Butcher. I've heard good things about that one. Thriller. I think these are all thrillers. And then there's a Christmas like thriller mystery one. It's Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret, and that is by Benjamin Stevenson. And the next one, oh, I forgot that was a Christmas one. Okay, I was like, I have two Christmas ones. That one's not ready yet. And then there's some nonfiction ones. I've kind of been wanting for a while to learn more about Xerxes, King Xerxes from Persia, back in the way back ancient times. So if you've seen the movie 300 and the Persians there fighting the king guy Xerxes, I don't think he really didn't look like that people, but I mean, it was television. Anyway, so I put some books on hold for the nonfiction historical read for the geeky person I am, geeky nerdy history person. I take pride in that actually. One is Persians: The Age of the Great Kings, and that is by Lloyd Llewellyn Jones. And then the other one is Thermopylae: The Battle That Changed the World by Paul Cartledge. And that's the only ones I have on hold. So I have about one, two, three, four, five. Oh, I have six. Six. Hopefully like I said, next week I'll be able to pick those up. So that's the six more up on my shelf. Anyway, so that is the Cozy Winter reading update on what I'm gonna try and get to and what I probably have to put a hold on, a temporary DNF, um, because I got too many, I got too many. Anyway, that's the that's it. That's the video. That's today's short, not so short book talk video. Glad you came. We had our cozy fire. That was our cozy winter. And yep, today's Friday, so good luck with the rest of your weekend and have a good one. Stay warm. It's been a little cold here for the last since Thanksgiving actually, I think a couple weeks. So it's hitting on winter. I'm not a winter person. I don't winter well, but whatever. It is what it again, it is what it is. And Elf is here. We're raised by elves, although I would probably be considered the naughty elf, I guess. I'm not I don't conform to the rules of happy elves. But cheers and have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you back here next week. I can't say if it's Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. It's hopefully it's one day next week. Thanks. Bye.